Shalom. First off, I'd like to give an all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, who the world generally calls God, in the name of Yahweh Shai, who the world generally calls Jesus Christ. Secondly, I'd like to give a double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who continue to teach us His truth, and a salutations to all you Akim out there doing the work sincerely of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. All right, the name of this lesson is Drums of War, Spring 2024. And we're just going to get right into some of the clips, and then we're going to get right into the scriptures. And then same thing as always, the speed will be sped up to avoid any copyright issues, as this is considered fair use regardless.
Sure. Yo.
So what you're looking at here is actually drones being sent out by Iran during an attack, or so-called attack in Israel, intercepting said drones, I believe with either the Iron Dome, anti-air missile system, which was purchased for them by the United States government. And yeah, so that's the first video here, and then what we have here is a report of Joe Biden saying that he is in support of Israel amid these situations with Iran.
Hello, I'm Nikki Schiller. Welcome to the
I'm going to speed it up again.
The program. We start this hour with the latest developments in the Middle East. President Biden has promised Israel ironclad United States support amid fears that Iran could launch reprisals for an attack that killed senior Iranians. US media are reporting that an American general will visit Israel on Thursday to discuss Washington's fears. President Biden warned that Iran is threatening to launch a significant attack after Israel struck the Iranian consulate in Syria 10 days ago. Mr. Biden was speaking hours after the Iranian supreme leader again said Israel would be punished for the strike on its consulate. Meanwhile, the Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh says there'll be no change in the group's demands for a permanent ceasefire in Gaza, despite the killing of 3 of his sons in an Israeli airstrike. Israeli media is reporting that the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had not been briefed in advance of the attack. This video is believed to show Ismail Haniyeh receiving the news in Qatar, where he lives in exile. Israel has confirmed the strike, describing the sons as Hamas military operatives. He's been actively involved in negotiations to broker a ceasefire with Israel, demanding a permanent end to the fighting and the return of displaced Palestinians to their homes. We'll assess the implications of the killing of his sons in a moment. First, here's President Biden on the threat posed by Iran in the region.
We also want to address the Iranian threat. They're threatening to launch a significant attack on Israel. As I told Prime Minister Netanyahu, our commitment to Israel's security against these threats from Iran and its proxies is ironclad. Let me say it again, ironclad. We're going to do all we can to protect Israel's security.
Let's go live to our Middle East.
So there you have it. The senile president of the United States saying that regardless of the situation, he is in full support of Israel in whatever they are doing. And the reason that this is interesting is because of squabbles like this is the reason that world wars start. All right, this is the reason that world wars start. So just to give us a kind of a historical context, I wanted to pull this video from a history channel of how World War II started, so that we can get an understanding of how these wars start in general.
Ended when the peace treaty was signed on the 28th of June 1919. The treaty ordered Germany to pay reparations to the countries they had fought to help those countries rebuild, and it was also ordered to hand over 25,000 square miles of land.
So this is pretty much the situation that it has a leftover from World War I. Germany was in a situation where they were trying to, Germany is always in the center of these world wars, or they were in the center of these world wars. So pretty much World War I left off with Germany having to pay a bunch of money.
severe strains on the German economy, which was also trying to rebuild after the war, and caused deep resentment among the German population. The treaty created the League of Nations, made up of 42 countries and intended to resolve international disputes diplomatically, but the USA refused to join, which made it severely weak and ineffective. Limits were placed on Germany's military. Immediately, Germany began to break terms of the treaty by rearming, and after it elected Hitler, who strongly opposed the Treaty of Versailles, rearmament increased more rapidly. Then, in 1938, Germany invaded Austria, followed by parts of Czechoslovakia. Rather than start another war, Britain and France adopted a policy of appeasement, tolerating Germany's action up to that point in return for assurances that it would not continue. Germany signed a pact with Italy, who were looking to increase their own land and had already invaded Abyssinia. Meanwhile, Japan had been invading parts of Asia, but although they were invited to join the pact, they couldn't agree with the terms until the following year. Germany signed another pact with the Soviets that neither country would join or support the other's enemy, and the following week, Germany invaded Poland. Britain and France ordered Germany to withdraw its troops, but after they refused, both countries declared war on Germany on the 3rd of September 1939.
So, as you see here, the way that these wars start is that these interconnections between countries, whether it's the BRICS, whether it's the UN, whether it's the US's ironclad, unwavered
With
support
so many choices on Booking.com, there are so many
for Israel against its proxies, and then the proxies like Iran, you have Syria, Libya, and all these Arab countries. They also have their own situations where they're all intertwined and intermingled. So if one of them goes, they all go. And this is kind of the situation that we're living in right now. That's why the name of this video is Drums of War, because these drums are banging. All right. All right. These are symptoms of, or not symptoms, but these are signs of an impending world war happening. All right. So this is Joel chapter 3, verse 9. And I'm going to read down to 14. And it says, "Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up." Exactly. So proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. The Gentiles here is talking about the other nations. All right. It says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." All right. So this situation here, this verse here is speaking about beating the plowshares into swords. All right. So this is a transition from in agrarian or agricultural farming based economies. All right. And them moving towards a militarily based economy where they're making weapons. All right. Which is kind of a sign or something that started happening after the Industrial Revolution with the development of cities and the advent of modern manufacturing practices. All right. So it says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." All right. So the weak is saying, "I am strong," because now the U.S. isn't the only one that has access to these military armaments, such as intercontinental ballistic missiles or atomic bombs, hydrogen bombs, neutron bombs. These are all things that these weaker nations that were seemed weaker, or they were looked at as weaker in the time of World War One and World War Two. For these modern times, this is not the case. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down." O Lord, exactly. So cause thy mighty ones to come down. All right. It says, "Let the heathens be wakened and come up for the valley of Yehoshaphat." All right, Salakia. Let me go back to verse 11. It says, "Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen." So the Lord's going to assemble the heathen. It says, "Gather yourselves round about." So he's going to gather all these heathen nations in one place. All right. And in that one place is going to be in the so-called Middle East, also known as the Levant, the area where Israel, Egypt, where you have all these countries, Israel, Egypt, Iran, Kuwait, Qatar, Iraq, Afghanistan, India, like that entire area of Middle Asia is going to be where these things are going to go down. That's where the Lord is going to gather these nations. It says, "Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord." Verse 12, it says, "Let the heathen be wakened and come to the valley of Yehoshaphat," right? The valley of the Lord's judgment. It says, "For there I will sit to judge all heathen round about." So that's where the big judgment is going to come from, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, a lot of people are going to die in these times. A lot of people are going to lose their lives. All right, it says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, for the press is fat. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. All right, so this is just speaking about the judgment that the Lord is going to bring. All right, the Lord is like, it's going to be like a press. All right, that overflows of fat. It says multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Exactly, so the valley of decision is where the Lord is going to destroy these nations. And this is what World War III is all about. World War III is all about the Lord potentially destroying, not potentially, this World War III is about the Lord gathering these nations and decimating their military, all right, using the other nations against each other, all right, and ultimately intervening, all right, and destroying these nations. Says, this is Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. It says, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. So the second woe was talking about that Second World War, all right, which kind of violently and abruptly ended in 1945, where the U.S. kind of had to put an end to everything and show the world what it can accomplish. It says, the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdom of this world are become the kingdoms of the Lord and of his Hamashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. Exactly, because that's what's going to happen, man. When Yahushua comes back, he's going to take over all these kingdoms. He's going to reign over all these kingdoms. He's going to be the King of Kings. And right, Lord willing, I'm one of those men. The elect men are going to be the governing body, man. That's going to happen in the kingdom of heaven. But these kingdoms aren't going to just fold. They're going to want to fight. And the Lord's going to have to get his hands dirty. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, seeing that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But in the end, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right, so we're going to hear of these rumors of wars, of these wars and rumors of wars, these conflicts. All right, but it says, but the end is not yet. All right, and then it says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All right, and 2024 started off with a bang with that earthquake that shook New York City. All right, by way of New Jersey. All right, came from New Jersey. So just another example, the famines, the pestilences, all right, these diseases. We're living in those times right now. It says, all are the beginning of all these are the beginning of sorrows. This is Isaiah chapter 63, verse 1. It says, who is that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? Basra was an important Edomite town, all right, or Edomite city. It says that this is that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength. All right, it was a question. So who is this? It says, I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thine garments like that, like him that treadeth in the wine fat. So this was a question, essentially, why are your clothes red? Like someone who is treading in the wine fat, like it's someone who's crushing grapes. It says, I have trodden the winepress alone, and all of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all of my raiment. So this was Yahushua talking about the incoming prophecy of his judgment. All right, so he's going to tread on these people, man. He's going to tread on the heathen. He's going to tread on 2/3 of our people as well, man. He's going to put them to death. It says, for the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. Exactly, man. So, hey, man, these drums of war, this is just an update, but these drums of war are getting louder and louder, and people are starting to wake up. Regular people, are starting to see that this place is indeed just circling the drain. All right. So, yeah, I'd like to give an all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, the bonus of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who continue to teach us this truth. And salutations to you, Akim, out there. And until next time, Shalom.